You know that person whose social media account is basically a ghost town? They've had it for years. They scroll every day. They just never post. You probably have a few people like this in your life. Or maybe you are one. And here's what nobody notices. That silence isn't them being boring. Or above it all, that quiet account usually started a long time ago with a kid who learned something very specific about being seen. So they reach for the same line every time someone asks, "I'm just a private person." But that sentence is hiding a whole story. A polite cover story that hides years of psychological conditioning most people never stop to question. And by the end of this, "I'm just a private person," is going to sound completely different to you because you weren't always like this. Think back far enough and you'll find a kid who broadcast everything. Every drawing got held up with both hands. Every cartwheel needed a witness. "Watch this. Watch me. Look what I made." You told the same story twice at dinner because once wasn't enough joy. Kids arrive in this world loud and visible. Wanting to be seen is where every single one of us starts. So something happened between "watch me" and "who would even care?" And here's the thing. It usually wasn't one dramatic moment you could point to. It was slower than that, quieter, which is exactly why you never noticed it happening, and exactly why we need to talk about it. A psychologist named Dr. Jonas Webb spent years studying a kind of childhood wound that hides in plain sight, and she gave it a name: childhood emotional neglect. Now, most stories about a hard childhood are stories about things that happened. This wound is different. This wound is made of absences. It's built from all the things that never came. Maybe there was a roof over your head, food on the table, parents who worked hard and meant well, and still, something essential kept missing its cue. You came home bursting about the goal you scored, and you got a distracted "that's nice" from someone who never looked up. You were scared at night, and you got "you're fine, go back to sleep." You cried, and the room just went quiet. Nothing terrible happened to you, but nothing happened for you. And that leaves a mark too. Here's why that matters for your feed today. A post, when you strip everything away, is a small expression sent out into the world, hoping to be met. "I exist. I felt this. Did you see it too?" And if your childhood taught you that your expressions came back with nothing attached, your brain quietly wrote down a rule. Sending things out to the world is pretty much pointless. So just keep it inside, where at least it's safe. And emotional neglect is only one of the houses this comes from. There are others. Maybe yours was the "we don't air our business" house. Privacy was simply law. What happened in that family stayed in that family, and floating above every decision was one question: what will people say? You grew up performing for an invisible jury of neighbors and relatives and family friends, a jury you could never see but could always somehow feel the presence of. Decades later, that jury follows you onto every app you open. Or maybe you were the watcher, the quiet kid in a loud family where your opinions weighed less, and the air always belonged to somebody else's storm. So you found your role. You observed. You learned everyone's moods like weather patterns. And slowly, being noticed started to feel a bit unfamiliar. Then it started to feel unsafe. Different houses, but one common, identical lesson. Being fully seen costs something, and a kid's nervous system takes that lesson and stores it somewhere very deep, somewhere it never forgets. So now fast forward 20, 30 years and watch that old lesson run your decisions subconsciously. Funny enough, you do take photos from time to time. The instinct to capture your life survived completely intact. It's the instinct to broadcast that went missing somewhere along the way. So the sunsets and the dogs and the people you love all live in your camera roll like a museum only you hold a ticket to. You screenshot things that move you and send them to absolutely no one. You watch everything. You know who got engaged, who moved abroad, whose baby started walking. You might be the most informed person in your entire social circle, and somehow also the least known. A one-way window where you see out, and nobody sees inside. And on the rare occasion you do post, once every year or two, it's the obligatory milestone, the new job, the graduation, captioned in 8 careful words, shared almost out of duty. Even that one got drafted 3 times. Underneath all of it hums a quiet fear of permanence. It's out there forever. Somehow, a photo of an ordinary Tuesday starts to feel like a tattoo. And when you consider posting anything more, your brain runs a very specific calculation. If this lands badly, it will sting for days. If it lands well, it's a handful of likes that change nothing. Psychologists call this loss aversion. Human beings feel a loss roughly twice as strongly as an equal gain, so the math always lands in the same place. Silence is the safer trade. Which brings us to the part your brain really does not want you to hear. There's a famous finding in psychology called the spotlight effect. A researcher named Thomas Gilovich had college students walk into a room wearing an embarrassing t-shirt, then ask them how many people noticed it. The students guessed about half the room. The real number was closer to 1 in 4. We massively overestimate how much attention anyone pays us because every person out there is busy starring in their own scroll. That crowd you imagine leaning in, studying your caption, judging your vacation photo, it barely exists. But your audience was installed early by a real jury in a real living room. So the settings never updated. You're still performing caution for a crowd that logged off years ago. But here's a detail that tells you what this was really about the whole time. Your private channels are wide open. You reply fast. You call. You remember birthdays. The 3 or 4 people who earned your trust get the full version of you. The funny one, the struggling one, the one with opinions and stories and feelings going 12 directions at once. Anyone who has loved you up close knows you have plenty to say. The silence only exists in public, and the deeper truth might sting a little. The most private person in the room is so often the person who once wanted to be seen more than anybody else. That kid wanted the attention badly, wanted the eyes, the response, the tell me more, and wanting it kept ending in silence or in laughter or in a price they could never afford to keep paying. So the wanting went underground with everything else. It's still down there. It just learned to stay quiet, that's all. So what is your silence made of? Well, simply memory. That's the whole answer. A very old memory about the cost of being seen, still setting the rules for an adult who could afford the price now. And, this is the part where I have to say something gently. So stay with me. There's a loss inside all of this that deserves a minute of your attention. Somewhere back there is a version of you who shared without rehearsing, who held the drawing up with both hands, who told the story twice. That kid had a voice that hadn't learned to flinch yet, and they faded so slowly and politely that nobody noticed they were leaving. Nobody throws a funeral for the kid who stopped raising their hand. You miss them in strange little moments, when the caption is typed and your thumb just hovers, when you watch a friend post something freely, badly, joyfully, typos and all, and you feel that confusing ache that's half envy and half homesickness. You're allowed to grieve that version of you. You're allowed to miss the person who existed out loud without double-checking first. Missing them, even just quietly, even just here, counts as telling the truth. But before you feel sorry for that kid, I need you to see what they pulled off. That kid looked around at their world with no power, no exit, and no adult explaining a single thing, and they read the room correctly. At 7, 8, 9 years old, they worked out exactly what visibility cost in that house, in that classroom, on that street, and they adjusted. They built a quieter way of moving through the world out of nothing, with no instructions, using the one tool a child can always reach: invisibility. That's actually resourceful. That's a fierce, uncelebrated kind of intelligence. And it worked so well that it carried them all the way here. That kid didn't fail. That kid figured out the assignment and survived it. Here's the quiet good news. The danger expired. The dinner table jury adjourned years ago. Most people were never watching, and the ones who matter already love you off camera. The cost of being seen has, for the most part, gone to zero. What remains is the caution. And caution that has outlived its danger has a different name: habit. And a habit, unlike a childhood, belongs to you. You get to keep it or retire it on your own schedule, for your own reasons. And listen, because this matters, there is no homework at the end of this video. Nobody here is telling you to post more, to put yourself out there, to fix anything. If your feed stays a ghost town forever, while your real life stays full of joy and inside jokes and 3 people who know everything, you are doing it right. A quiet feed above a loud, loved, fully felt life is a win by every measure that counts. But the next time someone says, "You never post," and you reach for the old line, "I'm just a private person," I want you to hear the longer version underneath it. There was a kid who learned that being seen was dangerous, and they protected me until the danger passed, and now the choice is mine again. Yeah, the choice is yours again. Keep every photo for yourself, or one day, just once, let one out into the world, quietly, on your terms. Either way, you're allowed to do whatever you want. If something in this video felt like it was written specifically about you, leave a comment. Even one word counts. I read every single one, especially the ones from people who almost didn't write anything. And if you know someone whose feed has been quiet for years, send them this video. They'll understand why you thought of them, and they'll feel seen in a way that's safe. Subscribe if you want more videos about the quiet parts of being human. You were watching PsychToons, and I'll see you in the next one.